And I guess what I'm trying to say is, I suppose my time at NYU, maybe the education I received was not so much in the classroom, but maybe outside the classroom. First of all, because I'm a kid from Thailand and going suddenly living on my own in New York and renting an apartment and doing everything on my own. That in itself is a big, big education, right? And then on top of that, being New York City, this is where I really started to open my eyes to movies, really. First thing is because I lived nearby a video store called Kim's Video. It was on the street called St. Mark's, and I lived a couple blocks from there. So every night after classes I would have to walk home, and I'd walk by this video store. And so I popped in, and in those days it was still VHS. It was not even DVD yet. It was VHS. And I'd go in there and I'd kind of look around, and Kim's Video was kind of fun because unlike other video stores where they categorize their stuff by genre, all the action and all the stuff. Kim's Video was like an artsy place, so they categorize everything by director. And so I'd walk in, and then suddenly, there'd be like a section on Krzysztof Kieślowski, and obviously it was like, who the hell is this? And then so I started renting these movies by director, and so it started to inform my thinking that these movies are made by certain people, and these people are called directors, and every director has a different style, and that's why they're categorized by director. And so instead of watching films the way I did when I was growing up, watch whatever was down the street or whatever was sort of the big movie in town, I started actually sort of studying it, like this director, and I would watch all this guy's films because they were all available, categorized together. So I would watch every single Krzysztof Kieślowski film. And that was basically my first, in a way, serious film education. So I was not majoring in film at NYU, despite obviously NYU being a famous film school. I did not have anything to do with the film school. But I received my education outside just because I happened to live near the video store. And
what was that area like by the video store?
It was fun. It was called the East Village. It still is the East Village today. I don't know, I haven't been back there in a while. But back then, this was the 90s. It was a lot of fun. It was wild. And I lived very, very far east. So very, very far east is a park called Tompkins Square Park. And so I lived on Tompkins Square Park. And so to get to Tompkins Square Park from NYU, you have to walk down St. Mark's Avenue. And so every day I would pass this video shop. And I'd nothing to do. So I'd pop in there and get a video and get like takeout Chinese food or whatever and go home and watch video. And this is what I did for years, because as I said, I wasn't a great student. Wasn't that academic or interested in my studies. So, what else do you do in New York? You kind of roam the streets, and you're 18, 19 years old. So I started watching a lot of movies, and that's how I really got into movies. Mm-hmm. And like I said, because the video store was an artsy video store, it sort of repositioned movies in my mind that they were artistic things made by artistic people. Mm-hmm. And that's what really got me started.
Did you meet other people through the video store, or were you watching films kind of by yourself?
No, I was kind of watching films by myself. Mm-hmm. I would just sort of rent and sort of consume these videos, by a director. Mm-hmm. And so, so I mentioned Krzysztof Kieślowski because that was sort of the first kind of filmmaker that I really admired. Mm-hmm. I suppose because it was just a section of the video shop.
What did you like about his work?
Don't remember. I guess because it's good, personal, and I just never seen anything from Poland before. Suddenly I'm watching a movie from Poland, after watching like Steven Spielberg all my life. So it's just such a new thing. And also coincidentally, the building that I lived in, the door people, everybody who worked there were from Poland. And so I kind of got into conversations with these door people in my building about Krzysztof Kieślowski. And, these were immigrants from Poland, and they, I guess being European, they knew who their filmmakers were. So we'd have conversations about Kieślowski. And I remember one day I came home, and then the doorman said, "Did you hear?" I said, "Hear what?" He said, "Oh, Krzysztof Kieślowski died." And so I can really pinpoint it that must have been around 1995, 96. Yeah. Yeah, that's stuck in my mind. And then from there, I watched a lot of stuff. You know, I remember liking Bernardo Bertolucci. That's one of the early people I liked. Roman Polanski, Scorsese. So yeah, that was my film education. It was through the video store.